What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Let me just take a moment to bask in being correct here. This is why EA Sports needs Muppets. Understand, this is why they go out and they find young, impressionable Muppets to feed and funnel information to so that they can sit in front of a camera and they can act like a Muppet for you, and you can try to take some of that excitement that they have and hold it in your hand and say, yes, this game is going to be better than last year. Yes, this game is going to be great. Yes, EA Sports listens to us. And those same Muppets, they love to get the information from EA. They love to say, oh, I've got a friend that used to be an NFL lineman. His name is Clint Oldenburg, and I have to protect him. I have to make sure that no one speaks bad about Clint. But what they don't tell you is how the reveal we just watched was embarrassing, was lackluster. By the people that watched it, was very poorly received. The non-Muppets, if you will. You know, I did a video last night, right? It took 20 years to get requesting a trade back. And it appears now we can choose the team that we're being traded to. Interesting, because that's not how it works in real life. And let me just stress, this is the community issue. EA creates way too many of these influencers with promotions, with free games, with footage. They want you as a customer to have only limited options in what you see. And they want you to hear people say, look, EA listened, we're getting the game that we want. Let me stress to you, this is not the game that you want, and we'll get into that in a moment. But no one asked for so many of these things to be removed. We're going to go back to the vision cone, right? We did ask for that to be removed. Have they ever built on that? No. Was it ever put back in? No. So why is it a good thing trades are back in the game if it took 20 years to complete? Something so simple, right? This is why there's no meaningful stride. This is why people want to paint things as negative and positive. It's no different than the mini games that took 15 years to come back in the game. And bear in mind, once these things come back, they don't make this massive impact. And at face value, it looks like the trade logic is going to be the very same. I wonder if you're just going to be able to continue to request trades over and over and over till you get the team that you want. So again, talk about things we've asked for, right? You start as a player, have your archetype in high school, but then we see it. High school moments where you're given tasks to perform and what seems like 4 gameplay challenges. So, is this good? Well, I guess, but is it what it should be? Absolutely not. And again, this is EA's track record of building things, of creating an environment. It's not stellar, right? This essentially reverts back to Longshot, where you played moments out of a high school career. Back in 2014, I understand some of the Muppets might not be old enough to remember. Back in 2014, we could play the full game, right? You get this coach happiness. We also see some awful gameplay. Don't worry, we'll talk about that awful gameplay tomorrow. But they sit there and they talk about, grading of a play and how this can result in your coach being angry, benching you for a quarter, benching you for a whole game. Madden's gameplay is not good enough to grade the user. It's so flawed. So how they're going to kind of funnel you as a user into doing the right or wrong thing from a decision-making standpoint when the AI doesn't do that is going to be really interesting. And of course, they're pushing this non-interactive trophy room that the Muppets are going to come on and tell you how great it is. It's icons on a page. It's static icons on a page. Okay? Then you have this option, retire as a college player, carry over to Madden, and that's when we see it. Quarterback, halfback, wide receiver, linebacker, cornerback. Oh my God, Ryan is so negative. He never praises them. His life must be horrendous. I'm not taking a virtual hug from EA Sports to sell you this garbage. Again, go back to Longshot. What was the biggest complaint the entire time Longshot was in the game? Limited positions, limited options, and yet here we are again. So basically, you take mini high school challenges, right? You parlay them with mini games, and then you take everything into Madden. And since they know that not much meaningfully has changed, they have to talk about this sphere of influence. And this, again, 100% seems like visually poor from a graphic standpoint. Visually poor cutscenes with text overlay, right? There's no storyline playing out here. Go back years when we compared what 2K was doing with My Player, and we begged for those modes in Madden to mimic it. And what did we get, right? We got cutscenes and text. Cutscenes and text. Literally a choose-your-own-adventure book on a screen. Next-gen consoles. You select a response by telling the coach you aren't here to play, sit on the sidelines. So you get a boost. And of course, the Muppets are going to lose control over this. Right? The Muppets are going to do backflips in their gaming chairs. You as a gamer, you should not appreciate this. This is nothing special because, see, the Muppets will go and they'll make a Twitter for their virtual player. And they'll create in their imagination this whole world that exists that does not exist. You as a gamer will not do that. You will just look at a very static and poor game. This is a digital choose-your-own-adventure book with moving photos and a light bar that says good job. That's not being negative, that's being honest. Some of you Muppets have a problem being honest. Because they tell you that doing this is going to open up new plays in the playbook. Someone please, in the comments, give me an example. Give me an example in the NFL where a cornerback's sphere of influence impacted the coverages that were ran. I'll wait. I want someone to do that because that's what EA is selling you. You get more sentences to select in other modes if you do well. They have gameplay beats, which again, this has been in the game before. Basically, this is a pre-game challenge that has been in MUT forever. And the problem with them is they are only so static to the player. And the game's outcome rarely matters. Okay, it is a envisioned stat that you either meet or you don't. So as an example, and this is something we've done in the past, let's say your halfback has a goal to rush 150 yards. Your team blows the other team out, right? They only have a handful of short runs, though, and you score 5 touchdowns. The game's logic, historically, has been so poor that it's simply seen you not hitting that goal and losing the minigame. And I question if that's still going to happen. And that is the reality of where we are. Basically, if you want to look at it for what it is, it's almost the exact same thing as last year once you sign or get drafted. We don't want these unnecessary activities. We don't. We want to play the full game. That's the point of Road to Glory. Okay, you want to have high school seasons as a safety, as a tight end. You want to do something beyond what you can do now. If you want to do that now, you can player lock on your favorite player and just, do this. The old Road to Glory, you had to practice. The old Road to Glory, you played full games. And now everything is funneled into this expedited series of events where you start your career at, 64 overall? You go through some boring drills and some mindless on-screen banter, and then by week 1, you're 74. Again, we didn't ask for this. We asked for create a player, play through high school, rank us depending on how we played, give us all the positions that are available, not this, here's a whole bunch of missions. This is not Grand Theft Auto. All you have to do is take the same concept from NCAA 14 and bring it over to next gen, and you can't. That's why people will continue to say NCAA 14 is superior. And this is not just me, sitting here and being, this old person that's negative. No, this is me telling you what you likely don't know. We should be able to play these full games, organically work our way up from 1-star recruits to elite college players, based on how we perform on the field. This whole system that EA implements of text and choose your own answers. And here's a couple moments that you get to play where everything is still the same game, right? MLB The Show just went through this. Same exact process where people were like, listen, you're giving us high school, you're giving us college, but we can tell it's the same game. Why does this high school player have the same exact look as Mike Trout? It's literally the same exact game from last year with a little nugget of high school. No new positions, no real storylines, maybe some cutscenes, and again, The Muppets will tell you it's the best thing ever, and anyone saying anything otherwise just doesn't understand football. And that's why we are going to discuss football tomorrow and some of the broken gameplay that we saw in this 5-minute trailer that encompassed both games. But you know, when you can click on a video to your right and see a Muppet explode with excitement, there's no way that I cannot be back in the week with more commentary.